From the moment Julius Malema rose in Parliament and declared, "You may have noticed that all week I was in Parliament taking on the criminals who are tarnishing the good name of the SAPS." The chamber froze. His voice didn't waver. It carried thunder. And in that instant, South Africans realized this wasn't just another political performance. It was a declaration of war against corruption inside the very system meant to uphold justice. For years, whispers had spread that the South African Police Service, once the people's shield, had been infiltrated by greed, abuse, and politics. But few dared to say it in the open. Then Malema did. He didn't just name the problem, he faced it head-on, in full public view on live. To understand why this shook the nation, we must look at what led here. For months, investigations and leaked reports hinted that parts of the SAPS were protecting powerful figures instead of protecting ordinary people. The crime rates climbed, cases stalled, and faith in justice began to crumble. In townships, people whispered, "You call the police, and nothing happens." Malema stepped into that silence. He accused senior officers of enabling criminals while silencing whistleblowers. He said the SAPS had become a safe house for corruption, and that those wearing uniforms had forgotten the people they swore to defend. It was a bold claim, and it struck a nerve. His week in Parliament became a public spectacle. Each session, he pressed ministers harder. He demanded names, demanded answers, demanded accountability. And the more he spoke, the more South Africans listened. Because deep down, everyone knew he was saying what the nation had been feeling for years. He wasn't gentle. He told the police minister directly, "You are protecting criminals within your own service, and you know it." Gasps filled the chamber. Cameras flashed. Parliament hadn't heard words that raw in years. But Malema wasn't just attacking individuals. He was exposing a culture. He described a force where loyalty had replaced integrity and where fear had silenced truth. He reminded Parliament that SAPS wasn't created to serve politicians. It was created to serve the people. Behind that fiery tone was something deeper, frustration, even pain. For Malema, this wasn't abstract politics. It was about citizens losing hope in justice. Every unsolved case, every ignored complaint, every whistleblower punished for honesty, they were all part of a larger betrayal. His statement was both political and personal. It resonated with mothers who waited years for investigations, with fathers robbed without help, with youth who feared the very people meant to protect them. "Enough is enough," he said, and the words echoed far beyond Parliament's walls. South Africans shared their own stories, break-ins with no follow-up, assaults with no arrests, evidence that vanished. For the first time in years, people felt someone in power was finally listening. Inside the SAPS headquarters, tension boiled. Some officers cheered privately, saying, "At last, someone is speaking up." Others fumed, claiming Malema was endangering morale. But the truth was undeniable. The nation's trust in law enforcement had reached a breaking point. In one session, Malema said something that cut deeper than any insult. "When the police serve criminals, the people are left defenseless." It wasn't just rhetoric. It was a mirror, showing the public what had become of their once respected institution. Committees were called. Investigations reopened. But Malema warned Parliament not to let the system investigate itself. "We can't ask the fox to guard the chicken coop," he said. "We need independent eyes, people who have nothing to lose by telling the truth." As expected, the backlash was immediate. Government officials accused him of grandstanding. Some analysts said it was a political stunt ahead of the 2026 elections. But even his critics admitted one thing: he had forced the conversation everyone was avoiding. And for ordinary citizens, it wasn't about politics anymore. It was about dignity, the right to feel safe in your own home, to report a crime without fear of being ignored or punished. For too long, silence had been the price of survival. Malema's voice cracked that silence wide open. Then came his rallying call. "If they remove the honest ones like General Nkwanatsi, we will welcome them in the EFF." Crowds erupted in applause. He wasn't just opposing corruption, he was recruiting integrity. He was saying there's still space for those who want to serve the people, not power. His words resonated across provinces. In Johannesburg, small protests formed outside police stations demanding accountability. In KwaZulu-Natal, civic leaders called for an independent commission to investigate SAPS leadership. In Cape Town, youth groups began holding Know Your Rights workshops inspired by his speech. The movement had momentum. Meanwhile, within SAPS, fear and uncertainty spread. Some officers began leaking documents, procurement records, internal memos, and emails hinting at deeper problems. Each leak fueled new headlines, new questions, new outrage. The media dubbed it the Malema effect. Every time he spoke, something happened. A report surfaced, a resignation letter appeared, or a senior officer was placed on leave. The country was no longer watching politics. It was watching accountability in real time. But behind the spectacle was a sobering truth. South Africa's crisis wasn't just about corrupt officers. It was about a system that allowed them to thrive. A system that punished whistleblowers but protected liars. Malema's challenge wasn't just to individuals. It was to a structure that needed cleansing from the inside out. As weeks passed, Parliament couldn't ignore the pressure. Oversight committees promised hearings. The president called for restoring integrity within SAPS. But Malema fired back. We don't need words. We need arrests. We don't need press conferences. We need accountability. Did you expect this twist? A politician turning Parliament into a courtroom for justice? Would your community stay silent if your police failed you again and again? The fight is far from over. Malema knows that exposing the truth comes with enemies. But he also knows silence is worse. History doesn't remember those who stayed quiet, he said. It remembers those who spoke when it was dangerous. For South Africans, this moment feels like a reckoning. Will SAPS reform or retreat? Will leaders act or protect their own? The answers will shape the nation's future, not just its politics, but its soul. And yet, amid the uncertainty, hope flickers. Citizens are watching closer. Communities are organizing. Ordinary people are beginning to believe again that truth, even spoken by one voice, can shake mountains. Julius Malema has positioned himself as that voice, loud, unapologetic, and unrelenting. Some call him reckless. Others call him revolutionary. But no one can deny that he's made South Africa look in the mirror and question what it sees. The coming months will decide what kind of nation South Africa wants to be. One that protects corruption, or one that protects its people. Malema has thrown down the challenge. Now the system must answer. If this story moved you, please like this video, share your thoughts below, and subscribe for more powerful real-life stories that hold power. Because when the brave speak up, silence loses its grip, and that's how change begins.